Whoa, 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 whoa. What is up, WACC people? Yo, what's good, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everything is amazing for you all, as always. I'm your honorable host, or I'm your host, the Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, and you are listening to the WACCast podcast. Please, before we go ahead and continue with the show today, make sure if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment on anything you want to talk about this episode. Also, for the podcast, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so you're notified every time a new episode drops on those platforms as well. With that being said, let's get into this WACC wisdom. The drama between Meg Stallion and her now former label 1501 Certified ENT continues. So, of course, she went ahead and took him to court. 1501 ENT dropped a statement saying that they did not give her a bad contract, that she actually got 40% back of what she earned, and that was unheard of for an unknown artist. And they claim that Rock Nation has given back less to their artists than what that they gave. From Meg's point of view, she feels like she's been bamboozled and tricked, taken advantage of. She said that she wanted to renegotiate it originally, and they did not want to renegotiate, so that's what made her want to leave. My opinion of this whole situation: Meg, you signed a contract, that's the contract. You can ask to renegotiate. It'd be nice to renegotiate. If they don't want to renegotiate, though, there's no crime but done there. And I really wonder what a judge is going to do, because, like I said, that's the contract she agreed to. If she don't like what she got, that's the next. If they're not willing to renegotiate to keep you longer, then you get out that deal. Your next deal, you come better. You come correct. Better lawyers. That's what I believe in. I mean, you making more money than you would have ever made anyway, and they invested a lot into you. There was no guarantee. She talks about, I've been something. I was already known for my freestyles. Well, a lot of people are known for freestyles. That doesn't mean that you get a successful career. You got backing, and that matters. And you can say somebody else may have backed you. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But we know in this reality that 1501 Certified, they did back you. Now, again, I don't know the particulars of the contract, and they're going to defend themselves and say they gave you a great deal. You're going to defend yourself and say you didn't get a great deal. That's for the court to decide. But I will say that, you're a grown person. You decided to sign with them, and they helped you out. They did give you money. Now, if you feel like you've been wrong, you have every right to go and take it to court. I'm not mad at you for taking it to court. One thing that I do not like that Meg does a lot is she tries to weaponize her femininity, or not her femininity, but she tries to weaponize being a woman, using that as, anytime she talk about them, these grown men, they defending themselves, just like you as a grown woman come up and claiming and accusing them of these negative things. They have every right to give a rebuttal and say, actually, it's you the one who wrong, you the one who's manipulating the situation, or whatever. And I just don't like that. And I thought that Carl Crawford, who was a manager head of 1501 Certified Entertainment, him coming out and saying she's not even from Houston, I don't know if that's true or not. This whole, I'm so tired of this whole, you're not really from this, you're not really from that, who cares? But, him coming out and saying that was weird, and I'm like, whatever. But then Meg, when I try to be on Meg's side, then Meg comes out and says, what 42-year-old man, I hope 42-year-old man don't hear no child stories. Trying to insinuate some pedophile stuff out of what? He said Carl Crawford said he never heard Meg or any childhood stories of Meg being from where she at. Nobody got any stories from her being from Houston, where she was from in Houston. And he said if Carl Crawford said if somebody could find Meg's stories from living in Houston when she was younger, please let him know. And Meg wants to come out and say, I would hope a 42-year-old man wouldn't know no childhood stories. That's just, come on, man. That is that's some bait and trap bull crap, man. Like, that's just so dishonest, disingenuous, and just trying to make something else. Like, what he means. He's saying, regardless of if he should have said it or not, that Carl is just saying that you're not from there. He's not really trying to hear about, like, a kid stuff. He just saying that that there's no childhood stories, there's no nothing to tie you to. That's what his claims are. I'm not saying that that's what the truth is. I'm just saying that's what Carl Crawford's claims are, that Megan was not from there. So for Meg to try to make it like he'd want to hear like childhood stories, and for Meg to try to make it some pedophile stuff, it's just really disingenuous. And one of the biggest issues I have with Meg Stallion is how she tries to manipulate situations like that instead of just talking straightforward. Like I said, I have no problem with either one of them just talking. I have no problem with the statement that they put out. I think that Carl Crawford should shut up about it and just let, the lawyers and his team and the company release their statements defending themselves. He don't have to say nothing. Let's just take it to court. Meg says she's only going to talk if somebody talk to her, so I want y'all both be quiet and take it to court. And then from there, we'll find out what's true and what's not true. I say, though, at the end of the day, I do believe if you sign that contract, you sign that contract. You have every right to take the contract, get your own lawyer, go over it, have them go over it with you, explain what's in it, and see if that's what you agree to. And we heard too many stories at this point from people talking about them getting screwed over for me to have any sympathy for the next person that felt like they got screwed over. And I say, if you did get screwed over, you're at a position now where you're off that label. Go get yourself a better deal. She wants compensation. Okay, that's fine. You worked hard. So let's see if you earned it. And if you earned it, you earned it. Both of y'all just need to be quiet about this, because at this point, it's going to only hurt both of y'all in the court. So keep all your stuff in. Y'all don't need to let y'all expose too much. Expose that in the courtroom. Don't have their teams ready for a defense against your claims. I'm just saying, man. But yeah, it's just sad because they came together and they had a successful partnership, because Meg Stallion became a huge name. So a very successful partnership. It's sad how it ended, but that happens in the industry, especially when money's involved. So like I said, that's my 2 cents on it. Meg Stallion, Carl Crawford, 1501 Certified Entertainment. Everybody want to be right. Everybody want to be the good guy, and we gonna see who it is. Is R&B dead? Well, that's something that Diddy seems to believe, and he's going online talking about it. His argument is that we don't got nobody want to be vulnerable anymore. You supposed to go crazy, be crying for your girl back. Everybody want to be cool as the rappers. Now the rebuttal to that is Diddy just being an old nigga, and R&B still alive and kicking. People naming a lot of great R&B acts: Silk Sonic, Summer Walker, Queen Naija, to name a few. Even Jacquees, Chris Brown jumped in, say R&B ain't dead, niggas just ugly. That might be true. My point of view, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that, yes, there are great R&B acts, but the R&B that tends to be more mainstream is the R&B from people who trying to be too cool. And people forgot, like, the rapper's supposed to be cool, the R&B singer's supposed to get you in your feels, man. That's supposed to be when you vulnerable and emotional. Like Diddy said, you want your girl back, but how can you get your woman back? You miss her. I know me personally, when I listen to R&B, most of the R&B I listen to is, from the 80s and 90s, some 70s. I don't really bump the new people too much because of their reasons. Like, when I want to feel cool, I want to listen to a rapper. I don't want to listen to a singer. But, there's also Sammy, who I think is a great R&B artist, and I listen to him a lot. Tiana Taylor's a great R&B artist. They can have some kind of cool songs. Even like people like R. Kelly had cool songs, but for the most part, it was love and vulnerability. And that's what I get from Sammy and Tiana Taylor and a few other artists too. Mario. But as far as like that new, who I feel like is becoming like the bigger artists now, the newer acts, it's got to be like this. If you're a female, you got to be like better than the dude, and like a city girl type person. If you a male, you got to act like you rapping and stuff, and almost be rapping in your verses when you sing, and you do like the singing rap stuff. It's crazy, but it's got an audience. People love it, and I don't know if you can say, that's not real R&B. This is what real R&B is. I don't know if that's something that can really be said, if it's, or just a matter of opinion of taste. But me personally, I just don't feel like that type of R&B stands up to the classics because of that vulnerability. I think that's really what made R&B. The same way you're vulnerable in blues, or you can be vulnerable in country. I think that vulnerability plays a big key role in R&B music, the sadder, softer tones, And I think that is forgotten a little bit like I said, everybody wants to be cool and be that person on Instagram and all that, and that can play a role. But I don't know. Like I said, I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think either side is all the way right. And now Diddy's talking about he bringing R&B back, so we'll see what's up with that. Is he signing acts? He gonna try to come out and sing? Diddy working with a vocalist? He's gonna hit that auto-tunes again? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Like I said, personally, I don't think that R&B is dead 100%, but I do think that it's hurting. I do think that it needs to find itself, and maybe it's going through a phase right now, just going through a little phase, and it'll find its way back to that vulnerability and that good love making music that we used to. Them classic hits that everybody still loves today. We'll see. Is Meek Mill done? Is Meek Mill washed? Is he a has-been? Is he no longer relevant in the rap game? Well, that's a question that's being asked now. Meek Mill went out and posted, I think on Twitter, pretty much wanting to make a gamble against any corporate people in the music industry, $10 million, that he was not a flop, that he was still hot, and that he was going to be successful, and he wants to do it, and he said the independent route. And that makes you think, or that made me think at least, is Meek Mill done? Is he washed? And what I have to say is, no, he's not washed, but I think he's in that same lane as like Ludacris, T.I., Rick Ross. He's a legacy act now. He'll always get attention. He'll always be able to come to any of the award shows. He'll always get good interviews. People will always care about what he'll always be reported on. He'll always be newsworthy. But I don't think that his music is going to be at that same level as it once was. One of the reasons is people get older. And when your main source of music is street music, that tends to attract a younger demographic. And as you get older, those little bitty kids that may have thought you were cool, they get older, and now they got people that's around their age that they relate to more. So I don't think that Meek is going to be selling big numbers like that anymore, but I think Meek will do like solid, 50K, 80K maybe, first week numbers, somewhere around that ballpark. I think that's where Meek could stand at. Now, I could be proven wrong, and Meek could come out with some hot fire and be the biggest rapper in the world. But I think you gotta also look at, well, why did he get out of his record deal? Why is the label letting him go? Why, he signed with new management? Maybe they're thinking the same thing. Maybe they're like, well, look, man, you got a name, you're Meek Mill, but that name value is not gonna equal to album sales. It's just gonna equal recognition, Like, you may get a play, somebody might listen to it initially, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna like it. And, Meek had his really high moment where he had, I forgot what album that was, but he sold like 200 something K, and everybody was like, oh, wow, real big. Then he had the beef with Drake, which, in my opinion, I think kind of hurt him a little bit. And then from there, he just, fell off a little. Now when he went back to jail, when he got arrested and everybody saying that wasn't right, and then the judge was against him, that kind of brought the sympathy back to him. But I never felt like, since then, musically, he hasn't meant as much as he does maybe as a person, as a brand, an ambassador for criminal justice reform. As a voice for, for the people, I think is more so what Meek stands for now. And if he wants, he can still make his music, and he'll still get plays, and people will still talk about it. People in the industry will still like it, but I don't know if he's that big bankable commercial star that it looked like he was getting geared to be. I don't see it. And like I said, it can always be proven wrong. He can come out with some smash hits. I mean, look at somebody like Lil Durk. He was out before, and he had a little buzz, and he kind of fell off, and then he got back up hot again. So you never know. It's still a chance, I guess, that Meek can come back. Only problem with that, your name value can hurt you, because then it can be, well, we kind of know who this is. Oh, that's just da-da-da. When you're an unknown, it's more exciting. It's, I guess, the fans feel like they're more on a journey with you to rise up, as opposed to if you were somebody who fell off a little bit. It's kind of hard to get you to come back up. Look at 2 Chainz. He had to change his name from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz, kind of reinvent himself completely. Maybe that's something Meek can do. I doubt that's something he would do, but it's a possibility. But then you look at somebody like Rick Ross, who did rise up. You know, he had to beef for 50 to do it, but he did rise up. And he came out of that beef hotter than he was when he was into it, and was one of the biggest rappers in the game. You know, Lil Wayne, he's another one who had been around for a while and was able to reinvent himself and became the biggest rapper in the world, you know, going platinum in a week. So doing real big numbers. So you never know. Although with Wayne, it was, you know, he was like the child star, and then he started spazzing out a little bit more with the bars and stuff, and he kind of did different things, you know, with the mixtapes and how that went. So that kind of got him to that level too. So there was a reason for that. It's not just, you know, he just kept going rapping and people just start liking him again. You know, I think he was very strategic in taking people's beats and just doing that speedy, fast, you know, just rambling rap that kind of sound cool because you're just saying a bunch of, you know, punchline. And it was hot for people, you know. It didn't have to make sense. It just was punchline after punchline. I don't think that Meek would do that, and I don't think that Meek has the skills for that either. But I think Meek's a skillful rapper. I don't think that he can do what Wayne does. So it's I don't know. You know, he's confident in himself. Meek Mill believes in himself, and that's great. I hope that he can. And if anybody wants to take him on that bet, I hope he can. Or even if they don't, I hope that he can show that, yeah, he's still a marketable, hot artist who can be that platinum seller or you know, just that big numbers doer in the first week and really lead the rap industry as one of the top artists, top streamed artists, top viewed artists, you know, whatever. But if he can't, then like I said, that's fine. He'll always have a lane. He'll always be able to go out and do shows. He'll always make money off of music. He's a legacy artist now, so it's not hurting him anyway. I understand his ego may be like, man, come on, I'm Meek Mill. I got to do this, that. But, you know, hey, it's happened to everybody. It's happened to 50 Cent. It's happened to Nelly. It's happened to Ja Rule. It's happened to a lot of, like, the heavy, big hitters. So, hey, it's okay, man. Just, at the end of the day, make your money, enjoy your music, and, you know, make good business decisions, and you'll be fine. At the end of you'll be able to support your family and leave something for your kids. That's what it's all about. Okay, so Chrisean Rock and Blueface, the new Bobby and Whitney out here. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another with them. They beefing with each other. He beefing with her brothers. She beefing with his mama. He hugging up on his baby mamas. She getting mad about that. They swinging on each other now. She stealing cars. Wack Won't can't get out the house. She locking herself in the bathrooms. I mean, the saga has gone on and on and on, and it's continued. She was arrested. Looks like her and Blueface got into another altercation with each other, and she was arrested and thrown in jail. If you don't know who Chrisean Rock is or who Blueface is a rapper. Chrisean was, or maybe is, his artist or somebody was helping. They kind of had a falling out, but now they cool, and they actually a toxic couple, toxic love, and they just been doing one thing after the other. And unfortunately, it's been for all of us to see because they both got cameras on them all the time and they want to talk about it. And, you know, I'll say this about it. They are both, I think, just as toxic as the other person because they both love it and they both laugh about it and make a joke out of these serious situations. I will say this. Blueface is the one with more to lose. He's the bigger artist, and he's kind of, instead of being known for his music, he's kind of known for his antics with this woman who had one kind of hot song but hasn't really been popping like that, you know. And she's out here saying, well, I would never leave him, he can never get rid of me. She's out now and she's talking about they want to break up, but I mean, she's the one who's been saying he can't never get rid of her. This is not normal behavior. And I would have to say that Blueface, if he wants to have a thriving career and a career that's not all about some love and hip-hop stuff, he has to let this woman go because she's not helping him, and they both need to get help, see why they act the way they act and why they are attracted to this crazy toxic mess. You know, like, I think Wack 100 even said it on Clubhouse, how he be talking to him like, man, what are you doing? You need to be focusing on your career, and this woman ain't right for you. And she's not right for him. He's not right for her. Something's going on with her. You can just hear in the way she talk. when she's speaking, something's not all the way right there. But Blueface, you gotta think the same thing, because who would want to engage with this woman like this? Who would be this much in love with somebody? It's always seeming to be an issue. Always seem to have these crazy, arguments. I think just the last thing I remember between them, that big deal, well, I think it was a fight, and then maybe either before that or right after that, he was accusing her of sleeping with a correction officer or something like that. I mean, it's just a mess. It's a mess. It's not good. Like I said, it's not good for her, because, who wants to be in a situation where you're not happy, and you can say you're happy, but going through this turbulence, you never know how y'all gonna end up that day. Nobody could be happy with that. And if you are happy with that, then you got a problem, and you shouldn't be with nobody. It's not good for Blueface, because nobody cares about Blueface music. He get posted all day on the Shade Room and other, apps or other pages like No Jumper, Academics, or whoever. And it's not about the new hot Blueface song that came out. He working with this artist. He getting prepped for this album. He doing these shows, that shows. It's about, what's the next drama with him and his girl? And you're an artist, bro. You are a music artist, and we barely talk about your music. So something's got to give. Blueface has got to work this out. They wilding, they going crazy. I can't even be mad at WACC for saying something about it, because it's like, these are conversations he's had privately with the man, and Blueface ain't listening. WACC don't like her. Your family don't like her. Your mama over here, Blueface mom, is posting all stuff about how much she don't like the girl. Chrisean's brothers talking about, they don't like Blueface, and that he don't act like he love her. And, like I said, now it's getting physical. Now people are getting arrested. I mean, how far is this gonna go, man? At some point, it's got to be stepped in. What I hope happens is her family just comes and get her. And not that they do nothing or try to do nothing to Blueface and something happen from that, but just come get her and take her out. This is not a safe environment for either one of them. This is not good. It's not a good look at all. Like Blueface already got WACC doing his antics. Now he got to worry about this girl. It's like, who want to work with this dude? It seems like he got drama all around him. But then it's like, you attracted to this. You keep that around. You keep that energy around. You laugh about it. It's funny to you. You drama too. So yeah, just again, they really gotta, I don't know, intervention, pull them apart, separate them. Take Blueface away for a minute, get his mind right, get him a good woman. Take Chrisean away, get her mind right. I know she work out and do all that other stuff. She need to work her mental out too. They both do. Get her a good man. Something going on. I mean, this can't continue. And that's the show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, getting that WACC wisdom, and I hope that you return next week to get a little bit more. Of course, again, if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I'm dropping new content on here, and also follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so you get notifications every time a new episode drops. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. This is it. This is the WACCast podcast, and I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk WACC to me. Talk WACC to me.
Yeah.
Talk WACC to me. Talk WACC
It's
to me.
the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk WACC to me. Talk WACC to me.
Yeah.
Talk WACC to me. Talk WACC to me.